Hey everyone, welcome to Home Matters, the podcast where we help you make the most informed decisions for your home renovation and improvement projects. Whether you're swapping out windows, tackling a kitchen makeover, or getting a new roof, we've got the tips, the tricks, and the insights that you need. So let's get into today's topic. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Home Matters podcast. I'm your host, Alex, and today we're going to dive deep into the world of flooring. Do you ever think about the fact that every time you enter a room inside of a building, a home, anywhere, public or private residence, that 1/3 of what you see is the flooring? So early on, when I got involved in construction, that was very apparent to me that, hey, what I look at when I go into a building, especially public spaces, 1/3 of it is floor, 1/3 of it is walls, and the other third is the ceiling. But we typically don't look at the ceiling as much other than to look at, light fixtures. The walls, we just tend to look at the artwork or paint colors. But the flooring, we associate it with not only the visual, but because of gravity, we associate it with comfort or function, right? Which is different than what you see with the ceilings and with the walls. And the floors, it's not only the aesthetics, but it's also how that floor can serve you, whether that's at the home or at work or in a public building. So some of the types of flooring I want to talk to you about today is hardwood, laminate, tile, carpet, luxury vinyl tile, and as well as bamboo and terrazzo. So let's go into hardwood first. So there are different types of hardwood floors that you can install. You have solid 3/4 inch hardwood, which typically you see in the Northeast because of the way the homes are built. And the humidity allows you to do it that way. The 3/4 inch solid wood, typically 3 inches in width for the planks, the strips, I should say. And when you go further into planks, they can go as wide as 5 inches. And the really fancy stuff can go 7, 8 inches, but that's more custom made, vintage. You have in the hardwood flooring surface, you have everything from the glossy finish to hand scrape to stained in different colors, right? Now, if you're in the Southeast, for example, in Florida, Georgia, places that are really humid or dry too, that experience a lot of rain, like California, you're probably going to choose an engineered wood floor. The engineered wood floor, unlike the solid hardwood floor, engineered is made by taking a veneer of the hardwood, so like a slice that's 2-3 millimeters thick, and then it's glued on top of 6-7 layers of plywood that is cross glued together. Now, it's still tongue and groove. So both with the solid hardwood as well as the engineered hardwood, you have different installation options. So installation methods are a, a big topic to discuss here because it determines whether you're going to be able to do it yourself, the DIY homeowner who says, hey, I want to buy and install my wood floor, or are you going to hire a company or a contractor? This is a huge driver, right? When you're making this purchase, because typically a homeowner does not have the expertise to glue down a wood floor, right? And now nailing it down might be a little bit easier. You could go down to the hardwood hardware store and rent a pneumatic nailer and a compressor, and then you can nail it down. But that's going to happen up north. But then there's the other variable, which is, do I buy the wood floor unfinished or do I buy the wood floor finished? Meaning, if you buy it unfinished, no stain or gloss protectant sealant was put on it. So an average homeowner or do-it-yourselfer is not going to do that. You're going to be buying a wood floor that's already finished, that is not going to be sanded and finished on premise. You're going to buy something that is already pre-finished and ready to just nail it down. And typically homeowners are also not going to buy an engineered wood floor and glue it down, because gluing it down requires quite a bit of technical skills. You have to know exactly which trowel to use, what glue to use, how much to use it, and it could be very, very messy, right? Now, so that's wood floors. Now, for laminate floors, this is very, very user friendly. So homeowners like it because you can just click it together. It's typically a floating laminate floor. Laminate is basically compressed melamine and paper with a veneer. And it's usually the veneer is just a picture that is printed on top of that little plank that's usually a 1/4 inch thick. And the tongue and groove, there's different types, right? But there's lots of different brands out there that offer really easy installation. You buy the wood floor, the planks usually come all the same size width. And what you're looking at is a picture really of a wood floor, and it's floated over the top of an underlayment. The underlayment is just usually a pad that is made of rubber or a pad that's made of different materials to do two things: absorb the sound, but also make the floor a little even. And last but not least, prevent moisture from coming up. So typically the underlayment has a plastic, and if it doesn't have the plastic, you're going to first lay that plastic on the concrete floor, if it is concrete floor that you have, because in places like the Southeast, you have high moisture, and that laminate floor, like a wood floor, can expand and contract. So you have to have the proper moisture barrier put down first, right? Now, when it comes to tile and stone in general, stone could be marble, could be travertine. That is a completely different beast. It is heavy work to do. So typically homeowners can do a small tile, porcelain maybe, but it is not easy work to put down marble or travertine or any of those natural stones, because they're heavy and you have to build up a mortar and you have to actually put down the thin set as well. It is a lot of work to do that. And then at the end, you still have to grout it. And whether you grout it with 1/8 inch or, a 1/4 inch, it is very laborious. So for you, the average homeowner, if you're thinking of installing a stone floor, stone meaning any type of tile, so porcelain, okay, you may be able to do that. But if it's a heavy stone like marble or travertine, you're probably going to hire a flooring installer or contractor to come to your home and do that. And those types of floors are more expensive too, right? Than it is the tile. Tile is more in line with laminate flooring. So if we're talking about cost, you could say tile and laminate is going to cost you, on average $5 to $7 a square foot between material and labor. Now, of course, there are brands that are going to cost more, but installation wise, $2 to $3 a square foot to install tile, and $2 on average to install laminate floors. Whereas if you do hardwood floors, the installation can cost you $4 to $5 a square foot. And then for marble and travertine and other natural stones, it's going to cost you $5, $6 and require more materials as well. Now, the other two options that you have that are also very affordable is carpet. But don't be mistaken that with carpets, you also have the very high-end carpets that can cost hundreds of dollars per square yard. And we measure it different with carpeting, right? We don't measure per square foot, we measure per square yard. And then if you have a patterned carpet, textured carpet, you really have to have an installer that really understands how to seam it together. Otherwise, you can end up with a product that does not look good. Now, if you just go with your typical residential carpet, you can get away with something for $3 to $4 a square foot completely installed. And I'm saying square foot because it's easier than explaining it in square yards, right? But don't be fooled by companies who say they will install it for free for you or do free rooms like the Home Depots and Lowe's of the world. At the end, they're just selling you the product at a much higher price. So would you like for someone to tell you that it's, hey, $5 a square foot for the product, but it's free installation? Or would you rather them say, hey, it's $3 a square foot for the material and $2 a square foot for installation? It's all the same. Nobody's giving anything for free. Let's be honest. Not the construction companies, not the big box stores, not the manufacturers. No one is giving installation or product for free. So let's just be clear on that. As the homeowner, we know that these companies with these offers, like the Empire Todays of the world, they are not fooling you, right? And we know that. And it's kind of really, sometimes when I hear these offers, I think, do you really think that consumers, homeowners, think that this actually exists? It doesn't exist, right? And with all these different types of flooring, you really have to figure out which type of contractor you're going to hire. Because if you hire a big box store, remember, they are subcontracting it to another company who then subcontracts another installer. So You really want to know that the person who's doing it has the experience. And of course, you got to think about budget. And then budget is what drives everything. Are you going to get a return on your investment? You know, look at the different costs between installation and material. Look at the accessories that go in with each one. Are you going to have to replace moldings? Are you going to have to paint baseboards? Will you need to remove furniture? Do they charge for furniture? If you have a piano or an aquarium, these are things that companies will charge you to do. Whereas if you do it yourself, it's gonna cost you a lot less. And then when it comes down to removing the existing floor, this is a big deal. Removing carpet is no problem. You can remove a room of carpet in less than 10 minutes. But if you have tile floor down and you're going to remove that, it's a conversation that you really want to explore with the construction company or contractor, because it is messy. They're going to use a jackhammer or a big floor scraper, and they come in and they're going to remove that thin set. They're going to remove the tile, and whether it's porcelain or ceramic, it's going to make a mess, a lot of dust. So are they using zip walls? Are they covering the furniture? Are they removing the furniture? What are they doing to protect your home? Because you don't want, if you've never gone through a flooring removal, hard surface flooring removal, you will be in for a surprise, right? So these are considerations. We talked about insulation, we talked about budget, we talked about job site, and then of course, climate. Climate matters. The location and of your home matters. You're not going to put down a wood floor in the middle of the winter because the wood needs to acclimate. And so it may not acclimate properly, which is something else that some installers don't mention to you, or the big box stores. That you buy the box of floors, you need to look at the installation instructions. Each manufacturer dries their wood differently in different kilns at different times. So one company, let's say Armstrong versus Shaw, they may say you have to take in the wood floor for 3 to 4 days to acclimate to your temperature. Another one may say 5 days. If you're doing a glue down, they may say that the glue cannot be in weather in a room that is lower than 35 degrees. So these are things that you have to consider. The climate and the job site conditions are very important. And then there was one more flooring that I wanted to mention, which was the luxury vinyl tile or luxury vinyl planks. It's very popular because it's easy to maintain and it's actually very low cost. Even though the word luxury is in there, you can get any luxury vinyl flooring for as little as like $3-4 a square foot, and let's say installed for $6-7 a square foot, whether that's plank or whether that's tiles. And the beautiful thing about luxury vinyl flooring is that you can get it in planks so it looks like a wood floor, or you can get it in tiles so that it looks like tile. And it's very thin, and the tongue and groove, they're not really tongue and grooves. They're just basically glued on the edges. So there's adhesive strips that you put in there. You throw it over the underlayment the same way you do for laminate. And it's very easy to install, very easy to cut. There's not a big mess for it. And at the end, it is also very durable in the sense that, with wood floor, laminate floors, if you spill water, it can buckle, it can create ripples, right? And with tile, it's much harder floor. If you have a child, a dog, an elderly person, tile, marble, travertine, those types of floorings they're very hard if you fall or trip. Whereas with luxury vinyl tile, it's a little bit soft, right? Because it's a floating floor and it's not as hard, but it is very durable. So that is the other type of flooring that I wanted to mention for you as the homeowner, which has been very popular over the last 5 years. The trend has been for the last few years that it's not the dark colors anymore, the dark cherries or Merbaus, or Brazilian cherry. You're seeing more of that whitewash and coastal contemporary looks, right? And so you'd want to obviously research to see what the market is asking for, especially if you're buying a house that you plan on selling in the future. You don't want to put something down that is so different and unique that buyer down the road is not going to value. And then last but not least, we'll talk about maintenance tips. Maintenance is very different for all these types of floors, right? You're going to have to give it some TLC, and there's different ways to clean it, right? Some you can clean with a vacuum, some with a sweeper or a Swiffer mop. Others, you need a microfiber mop. Others, you can't be spilling or having your puppy have accidents. So maintaining is important. And then also knowing that a floor like a marble or a wood floor could be forever. You could have a solid wood floor or a marble travertine type natural stone floor forever. I mean, you could have it for hundreds of years as long as you constantly maintain it, repair it. So sanding, refinishing, whereas materials like carpet, luxury vinyl tile, laminate, porcelain and ceramic tiles, they are not forever. They're there for as long as it'll look good. And then you also have bamboo, which we didn't get to touch on this episode, but I will make a whole episode just about bamboo floors. They were very popular for a while, and in that episode, I'm going to talk about other flooring surfaces like cork. We could talk about terrazzo floors as well, concrete polished floors. Those are more of the niche type of flooring surfaces, but they can be very beautiful and durable. But most people don't like those floors, which is why I stuck to the ones that we talked about today. So I hope that's very helpful for you. And that's a wrap for today's episode on the fundamentals of flooring. If you're a homeowner looking to make informed choices about your flooring, I hope this episode added some value to your day. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any episodes that help you make your home a better place. This is Alex signing off. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Matters podcast. Remember, a great home starts with making smart choices. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new episode. For more resources or to get in touch with a trusted local contractor, check out localcontractor.co. Until next time, take care and happy renovating.